When I say the name Steve Smith, you'll probably remember his accolades in Test and One Day cricket, but especially in Test since he's one of the best ever batsmen in this generation. But you probably don't remember much about Steve Smith's T20 career. For most of you, the most memorable memory of Steve Smith in T20s may be his knock in the IPL 2017 final, which was, well, slow to say the least. Smith only has scored 1,094 runs at an average of just 24.86 with a strike rate of 125.5 in 67 T20 matches. Regardless, he was subsequently dropped in the T20 setup of Australia's camp from the 2024 T20 World Cup and has been unsold in IPL for the past 4 seasons. So why am I making a video titled The Comeback of Steve Smith in T20I? Well, we'll find out now. This is WCA. Cue the intro. Before we get to Steve Smith's comeback in T20 cricket, let's talk about his rise and fall off from the Australian T20 cricket radar. Steve Smith started his T20 career as just another leg spinner in 2010, but he was eventually dropped after the 2010 T20 World Cup due to limited opportunities. So during 2010 to 2014 is the period of time that Steve Smith transitioned himself from just another leg spinner to the Australian cricketing legend we know of today. He was a very consistent performer in Test cricket for Australia, which eventually led to his callback in T20 cricket in the 2014 T20 World Cup. And ever since 2014 to 2021, Steve Smith was a mainstay in the Aussies T20 setup. It is also noted that during the 2017 to 2020, he was also the captain of the IPL franchises Rising Pune Super Giants and Rajasthan Royals. And during 2016, he was appointed as the full-time captain of the Australian T20 cricket team. Well, if you've been following cricket since 2018, you know what happens next. The infamous sandpaper incident. This was not only a huge embarrassment for Steve Smith, but to the Australian cricket itself. This led to Steve Smith losing his reputation as a cricketer by a lot. Though Steve Smith did gain back his reputation in the 2019 Ashes series and was eventually appointed as the captain of Rajasthan Royals in the 2020 season of IPL, his performances in T20 cricket declined rapidly. And by rapidly, I mean he was struggling to cross the strike rate of just 100. And with T20 cricket changing towards a more power-hitting, high-risk game, a player with a strike rate of 125 is bound to disappear in the midst of it all. But wait, this video is about his comeback, isn't it? Well, let's move on to the comeback part of Steve Smith's international cricket career in T20s. As during the 2022 to 2023 season of the Big Bash League, Steve Smith understood what the T20 game had become and scaled his game up by miles, scoring 2 back-to-back centuries for the Sydney Sixers as the Sydney Sixers finished second in the points table with 10 wins from just 14 games. And interestingly, Steve Smith only played 5 matches for the Sydney Sixers due to his international commitments, but during the 5 matches, he has scored 346 runs at an average of 86.50 with a strike rate of 174.74. But unfortunately, Sydney Sixers weren't able to push through and were eliminated by the Brisbane Heat. And in 2024, he was appointed the captain of Washington Freedom, one of the 5 franchises in the Major League Cricket. With this opportunity, many expected Steve Smith to play his usual anchor role, but surprise, surprise, he scored 336 runs with a strike rate of 148.67 with an average of 56. And he eventually led his team to final. As in the final, Steve Smith made a stellar performance of scoring 88 runs of just 52 deliveries to guide Washington Freedom home for their first ever MLC championship. With this remarkable achievement, Steve Smith played for the Sydney Sixers again in the 2024 to 2025 Big Bash season, where he once again scored a century of 121 runs of just 64 deliveries. And unfortunately, he was ruled out of the BBL season with an injury, leading Sydney Sixers to once again be eliminated in the playoffs. But though the unfortunate result, it's crazy to think how Steve Smith reinvented himself as a genuine threat with the bat in T20 cricket and one of the most sought-out players in the world of T20 cricket, well, maybe except in IPL. But still crazy to think how at one stage Steve Smith's T20 career was considered almost definitely finished to now being revamped as a comeback as a total T20 beast. This is WCA. Thank you for watching.